enter one and pass the cloudy door where wonderful things will happen that the world has never seen before.
In Dexter's laboratory lives the dopest nerd you've ever seen. One day he smoked some cannabis and had a dream. What if he could sesh with fandom's best in Dexter's Dab?
Hello, friends. Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Nerdy Stoner Podcast with your favorite huggable stoner, Dexter, aka Stash Tokum. I am joined by another very awesome person here today, Miss Dirty Nerdy Birdie, or Birdie herself. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for being on here with me. I appreciate it. I love your glasses,
Thank you
by
for
the way.
having me. I love a good jewelry thing. I know this is like moving a lot, but I always have to have like a glasses chain. I don't know why glasses chains went out of style. They're the best thing to me because I can just do and not have them anymore without having to drop my glasses or put them in my hair that is full of hair gel and leave-in and all the other stuff that light-skinned people smell like.
Well, hey, you know what? You're bringing it back in style.
Yeah. I try. And I got my little Avatar Last Airbender earrings on. So
Oh, shit. Let me see.
my little nerd. Yeah, it's the koi fish.
Nice. That
Mhm.
is one of my all-time favorite shows, like ever. It's
Hands down, it is top 3. If it is not in somebody's top 3, I don't know if I can trust them.
That's very fair. That's
Mhm.
very fair. I mean, just, like some random post that I saw one day, sometimes you just gotta rewatch Avatar to get some advice from Uncle Iroh, and it's the truth.
Yes, we do need advice from Uncle Iroh, but we also need to take into account that this man was like a murderer at some point. Like, yes, he did grow from that. He had a fantastic heart.
That.
But we're just not going to forget that he pretty much murdered a whole community of people at some point.
He did. I mean,
that is kind of how his son became a leaf from the vine, but
yeah. I mean, he could kick some ass. Damn, could you imagine a prequel? Like just around. Oof.
I don't know if I could take that. I want to leave him in just this good place in my heart. If I saw the prequel, I'd probably, it would make me change all of my views, and I don't want that. I'd be kind of sad about that one.
Let's just leave him pure.
Iroh was one of my favorite characters, even after the voice actor changed. Iroh was one of my favorite characters.
May the original rest in peace.
Mm-hmm.
But Miss Birdie, you yourself are an actor, gamer, Twitch affiliate, crafter, and I also see a little bit of cosplay too.
Here and there. I call them my halfway cosplays. I would love to get deeper into cosplay, and that is also where the crafting comes in because I'm already like a crafty person. I've made some metal jewelry here and there from like metal wire, but I've given it as a wedding present to my now sister-in-law. I've made some other little crafts here and there because I just enjoy being creative and dipping my toe into as many creative things as I can. I think normal jobs they're just not for me. I have a big person job, a normal job, and the more I'm in it, the more I just want to be creative, and the more that I just want to do things and be out there, even though I'm a very quiet and to myself person, believe it or not.
Okay.
So,
yeah. Nice. Anything exciting that you're working on right now, as far as crafting?
As far as crafting, it ties into acting as well. I'm working on a project with a friend involving aliens, like the movie Sigourney Weaver and things like that. And that's one of my favorite movie series, and I can't really go into detail, but my friend is more of like the alien maker. But I'm trying to learn how to work with like the EVA foam and stuff like that he's doing to get better at it myself.
Mhm.
Um, and to eventually help build these monsters with him and these aliens with him. But one of my great friends from college. But I'm super duper excited. I've already gotten fake blood in my eyes. So I'm just I want to do this so bad. I'm not a super cosplayer yet. It's something that I really, really want to get into because I just see so many cosplayers out there who are phenomenal and just killing the game. Like, here, please. Um, and I can't I would love to do more, but I can't totally call myself a cosplayer. In my opinion, it's like a imposter syndrome. I can't totally call myself a cosplayer because there are people out here that are doing things that I can't even imagine, working with light like in their costume and like fire and stuff like that within their costume, and that's just such a cool thing to me.
Nice, that's dope.
But
Well,
I did enjoy my Hades cosplay and my Lady of the Black Puddle from Courage the Cowardly Dog. Another top 3 show.
nice. Well, if you need some reassurance, I think you're a great cosplayer, and keep at it. Keep up the good work because you will be where you want to be one day.
Oh, definitely. I'm not gonna stop now that I've already gotten this foot off the ground. I refuse to quit.
Nice,
I'm
nice.
finally getting back into my, nerdy loves. There has been a period of time. I'm not going to go into the length of time, but there's been a period of time where I fell out of love with every single thing that I did. Acting, cosplay, right down to I lost my voice, but it wasn't like a laryngitis thing. It was like losing the desire to speak. And one thing that I've gotten very much into in the past couple of years is discussing mental health in the Black community and how important it is because I suffer from depression myself, depression and anxiety and ADHD. So it's just very important to talk about, and it's something that I talk about on my Twitch all the time. Now, granted, it's not all that I talk about, and it's something that I try not to bring up too much because I don't want to fall back into that pit. And I have the problem of sounding very doom and gloom a lot. Um, but it is something important to me because it kind of it's a awful feeling falling out of love of everything that you once did and trying to fight to get back to that and the person that you love, the person that you once were or that you want to be, and continuing to fight for that. And it's always a battle, it's always a struggle. And it's something that I'm going to constantly, I'm going to look my depression in my face and be like, I'm Inigo Montoya. You have killed my family. Prepare to die. That's essentially the kind of force that I'm coming at it with.
I love that so much. That is awesome, and that is I have never heard anybody talk about dealing with their depression that way, and that's that's amazing. I love it.
You gotta look at it
Absolutely.
like that sometimes. You just have to look at it like it's this thing that's in your face, and I'm gonna beat you. You're gonna fight me. I know that it's gonna be a struggle, but you have killed my father, prepare to die. Like, there's no other option, there's no other route. That this is the only path that I've gotta take.
Right.
So
Well, I appreciate you opening up about your mental health on here. It's definitely something that's very important to me. I've said on here a couple times about how I've had, well, not right now. I'm looking for a new therapist, but uh, been in therapy.
oof.
It works. It
Mhm.
helps. Uh, it's it's okay.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's just you're you're getting help for your brain, like you would go to a
Yeah.
doctor and get help for like a broken wrist or something.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, and
you don't. No, go ahead.
yeah, that's the thing that a lot of people don't really consider is like if you go to the doctor and you get, everything for a broken arm. Like I actually just had surgery on my arm this year. It's funny that you said a broken arm. Um, that was part of what happened and how I've been so down bad. But you go to the doctor and you get all of this done for your body physically, but no one really takes into account that you need a doctor for your brain sometimes too.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
that is a actual muscle. It controls your entire body. So,
absolutely. And
mhm,
like you were saying with how you're fighting your depression, that's like that's with all the animated stuff that I've watched about, people conquering their inner demons like Asta and Black
mhm,
Clover or oh shit,
mhm.
there's another one. Who else has an inner demon?
I feel like
Yeah.
that's a majority of Miyazaki movies or like Studio Ghibli is pretty much mental health or something in the world that is happening that one has to come to terms with, but it's said in such a fantastical way
Hmm.
that a lot of people don't like realize the story behind it.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. Uh,
Mhm.
just conquer your inner demons, people. You can do it with therapy, exercise, eating right, just expressing
Mhm.
your feelings. You got this.
Oh yeah.
Now, you mentioned your top three shows earlier. One being Avatar, the other being Courage. I'm curious, what's the third one?
So this is a cartoon that not many people remember or know about, but it's something that I watch all the time. Like I have it on a hard drive and everything. It's a low key, and this is just for cartoons. This isn't anime. This isn't movies. This is just specifically American cartoons. Sheep in the Big City.
I
It was
remember
a
that. That was on Cartoon
it
Network,
was an
right?
old Cartoon Network show, and it was everything corny that you could imagine. It was one of the corniest, pun-filled, just wild circuses, um, about a sheep that gets lost in big city, aka New York, who was from a farm, and the farmer John is trying to look for him. You have, oh, what is his name? Private Public and Public Private. Or general public and general private or something like that. It's such a odd show, but I love that show so much because there's just some jokes in there. It's almost like watching a Spielberg cartoon, like Animaniacs or something, where you'll hear the joke years later and you're like, fingerprints. Oh, that's what they meant. It sneaks up on you, but some of them are so just in your face, and it's one of those, like, dad jokes that you can't help but to just face palm sometimes and be like, "Oh, I hate them for that right now," because it's so obvious, it was such a cheap pun, but we're here now. I can't I can't turn away. But, I think that's one of the ones that people just it's slept on so hard, and I wish I could find it on a streaming platform to this date. I know I should have said Teen Titans because that's gonna come up later in this conversation,
Okay.
um, but Teen Titans or Sheep in the Big
They're interchangeable. I get that.
City. A
But
little
it's
bit.
it's funny you bring up jokes that we don't get until we're older. A coworker of mine and I were talking about cartoons that, you know, weren't really meant for kids back in the day because they had so many
So
adult
many.
jokes in them. Like
Ren
Rocco's
and
Modern
Stimpy.
Life, Ren and Stimpy.
Rocko's Modern Life.
Ren and Stimpy was just so like it was
That show
so
was
obvious
demented.
with it, but we didn't realize it as kids. Like
Mhm.
sawing a log between the butt cheeks and just
What girls standing over your chairs and over your neighbor's dog. Man,
uh,
that show gave me nightmares as a child. I'm not even gonna lie.
really.
That show gave me all of the nightmares as a child. I and
Wow.
it was one of my sister. I have like 3 older siblings, but my sister, that was her show. So we knew like all the songs that were in the show. We knew everything that happened. But that was her show growing up.
Nice, nice.
Mhm. Mine
One
was
thing.
Freakazoid.
Oh my God, I haven't heard about Freakazoid in so long. That was my shit.
Super Teen Extraordinaire. Great
Ah,
show.
damn. Core memory unlocked. You know what?
I have an unbelievable just encyclopedia of cartoon in my brain. That's pretty much what raised me as cartoons, and what influenced me in everything that I do is cartoons.
Same. I get that. I get that.
Mm.
So I'm guessing you were a Saturday morning cartoon kid as well.
Oh, definitely.
Nice.
Every
Nice.
single one, right down to Mummy's Alive. No one remembers that one. Mummy's
Oh
Alive was my
my
jam.
God, you took it back. Mummy's alive.
Mhm.
Damn. That just made me think of like so many old like what was the one? Mighty Max with the kid with the hat?
Yep. I try not to think of Johnny. Was it Johnny Quest or Johnny Test that got really awful after it switched over to Cartoon Network? It was great when it was on. Was it Fox Box or WB Kids? I can't remember. It was great back then, but then all of a sudden it switched over to Cartoon Network, and the writing changed immediately.
Just went downhill.
Hmm. I have such fond memories. Even like Winx used to be on, I want to say WB Kids,
Hmm.
and Winx was like, I think Winx and Sailor Moon were like my first kind of intro to magical girl,
Hmm.
just the genre of it, and it stayed with me for years to come.
Have you ever
Mhm.
seen or watched Madoka Magica?
No, I finally got around to watching. It's not Sakura. What's her actual cartoon or her
Card
actual anime?
Cardcaptor?
Cardcaptor Sakura. Yes. I finally got around to watching Cardcaptor like over the pandemic because I couldn't see like humans for a minute. It was like I got so disgusted with humankind that I only watched cartoons and anime at some point over the pandemic.
Hey, I get it.
Um, yeah. So that's when I finally watched Cardcaptor. I watched something else called Ultramaniac, which is amazing.
Ooh,
And
what's
just a
that
bunch of
about?
like little kid. It's just a little kid anime. Kids anime resonates for me for some odd reason. There's one called Kodocha or Kodomo no Omocha that I used to be obsessed with, me and my best friend in high school. And it's little kids, but if you read the manga, it got real deep at the end.
Okay.
Real deep.
I'll add it to the never ending
Mhm.
list.
I will say it's a little annoying. It gets very loud, but in a good way. I also
Okay.
watched Food Wars over that time. I never finished it because I ended up eating everything in my house. But I also watched Food Wars then.
Ooh, I got a Food Wars is one that I started and need to finish. It taught me so
Mhm.
much about cooking. Like I like
Yes.
to, I like to cook and just watching what they do and the
Mhm.
techniques that are on there. It's just like, damn, this shit's really teaching you.
Yeah. I love gastronomy, but I realize it's something that I can't do. Just like there was a character in the show, I think her name was Erina, who made like this egg dish. Was it Erina who did that? No, it was her cousin. But she made this egg dish where she like took the inside of the egg out and like mixed it with chocolate and something else and then put it back into the eggshell and
What?
then made an egg out of like cream and something else. And I'm like, the challenge was eggs and she just did all of it. She did like 3 different egg things and none of them were actual eggs. It was fantastic.
Shit.
Um, but yeah, gastronomy is something so cool to me that I know I will never be able to do. The fact that people have made alcohol bubbles that you can just like it's a cloud of alcohol and you ingest it and get that feeling is weird to me, but so intriguing.
Wait, I'm sorry. Alcohol bubbles?
Yeah, I think they mix it with some sort of like a nitrous or something else to make it like a solid cloud, but then they put it inside of a bubble membrane, but it's like a cloud of alcohol. You've got to look it up. It's one of my favorite things. I enjoy looking at things like that. I don't know why that's like a niche for me, but I can watch stuff like that all day. I'm like,
That's-
how do you make food better? I can't do it, but you can.
That sounds cool. That sounds very scientific. I like that.
Mm-hmm. It was like at Food Wars where he made that like gelatin that he made melt over the rice. It was great.
Oh, I remember that one. Yes,
Mm.
that was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of science, are you a fan of Dr. Stone?
I haven't watched it yet.
It's okay. It's okay.
I have
get it.
so many anime that are on my roster, and I just haven't. I have such a backlog because I fell off of anime so hard. There's so many that came just rapidly right after
Right?
COVID.
It
And I don't
feels
know
like
what happened, like Hunter x Hunter, Attack on Titan, JoJo, like even though a lot of these were around before the pandemic and before, for some odd reason within the last like 3 to 5 years, it was just like rapid anime after anime after anime. My something's a slime and everything else with these like loud, obnoxious, long titles. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get there when I get there. So right now I'm watching 3 anime at once. I'm watching Hunter x Hunter, Attack on Titan, and I went back to watch Yu Yu Hakusho because I watched it when I was in high school, but thanks to my ADHD, I cannot remember a thing that happened. So I started watching the live action and I'm like, isn't this dude supposed to be a baby? Wait a minute. And it's crazy because they did the same thing with Cowboy Bebop, and it was just I hated it. I'm sorry. I really wanted to love it. I love John Cho. I love Cowboy Bebop with every fiber of my being, but the live action just didn't do it for me. So now that I'm watching the Yu Yu Hakusho, I'm like, you know what? Let me go back and watch the anime all over again because it was so good and I can't even remember it. I hate when that happens when I can't remember a thing.
Hey, I get that. I
Yep.
want to touch on the Netflix live actions in a second, but you just happened to mention two of my all-time favorite anime. Like Yu Yu Hakusho is number one, Hunter x Hunter
Yes.
is number two. Like, oh my god, they are just amazing.
So I'm enjoying Hunter x Hunter, but I got clowned the other day. I was playing Lethal Company with some friends, and somehow, some way, I made like a Hisoka reference, and I may have made it slip that Hisoka is fine as hell, and everyone's just like, of all the characters you could have chosen, the most psychotic one who literally looks at Gon and Killua like, and I'm like, yes, it is something about that creepy stare of his where his eyes just go two different ways and he looks like it's like a murderous stare. I love Hisoka. I'm only in season 3, so maybe he's gonna get even creepier and I just don't know it yet, but I we talk about anime crushes. You got Shishomru and now we got Hisoka. I should feel some type of way about myself, but then I realized that, like, you know, Harley Quinn and Joker growing up were my things. It's something about the psychotic ones, I guess. Why do good girls always go for the bad guy? Yeah.
They think they can change them?
Oh, no. Oh,
No?
no.
Or maybe they just like the psychoticness?
I guess so.
Like,
Yeah.
your crazy matches my crazy.
You know. Damn. I've been found out.
Hey, it's okay because you know what? There are so many more people in the anime community that love them both as well, so you are not alone.
Yeah, no, Hunter x Hunter is a fun ride so far. I'm only in season 3, but like I can see why it's people's favorite. It's so good.
What's season 3 right now? Like, where are you? Or I guess what's happening?
So I'm in a cave with the Phantom Troop.
Okay.
And I think Hisoka just walked in recently because he wasn't like, I don't know if he's part of the troop yet or if he just walked. I think he's part of the troop though.
Mhm.
So they're discussing because Gon still hasn't found the person that he's looking for. I know I know that like giving spoilers isn't like a thing, but the show is like how many years old, and I'm trying not to
So
say.
many years old. I mean, spoiler alert, I guess.
Yeah,
Fast forward
but yes,
30 seconds.
on his journey to find this person that is important to him that he has never met, he happens upon a cave of the Phantom Troop while they are trying to find a girl who may or may not be psychic and know that Gon and Killua have connection to somebody else that they're looking for. And it's a whole thing. But that's where I am right now.
Okay, I think I know where you are. Well,
It's like kind of the beginning of season 3.
okay.
And I had to take a small pause because I started Attack on Titan and then I started watching other things. Like I started going to the movies again, but to only see really old things.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I had to take a pause because Attack on Titan already gave me like 2 heart attacks in the first episode. And then I went to the movies to go and see one of my favorite movies, The Abyss, and I couldn't breathe for a couple of days.
Ooh, is that a horror movie?
Oh, it's more sci-fi than horror, but it gets intense.
Okay.
But it's basically deep sea exploration. And it's a James Cameron film, and
Mhm.
it's one of the most beautifully done James Cameron films I've ever seen in my life. I have a poster of it because I love it so much, but they digitally remastered it and added some scenes and put it on IMAX for a day. And I'm like, hell yeah. I've seen this movie at least 12 times in my life, but give me. I saw that and I saw Die Hard like 2 days later in IMAX, and I've seen Die Hard so many times, one of the greatest holiday movies ever. It takes place on Christmas. It's a Christmas movie. Um,
You
but
heard
I
it here,
saw Die
people.
Hard and cried like it was my first time seeing it all over again. So I had to take a pause on my anime for a bit. And then I started watching Doctor Who, but the first Doctor.
Oh, wow. You took it back,
It's all
back.
on Tubi. It's
Huh.
all on Tubi. Every single Doctor ever. I don't know how they got a hold of it because so many episodes had been lost thanks to, BBC.
Mhm.
So many episodes have been lost, but they have all of the Doctors. And I've never seen Doctor Who before because my ADHD makes it so that I can't watch something out of sequence. So even though it doesn't matter where you start as long as you start with like a good doctor. So everyone's like, oh, watch David Tennant. He's the best. I get it. I love David Tennant. He's my Barty Crouch Jr. But at the same time, I can't start this show if I don't start it on season 1, episode 1. How do people go out of sequence like that? I just don't understand.
Uh, so for me, when I started, I didn't even know that there were previous doctors before number
Mm.
9. So I just started there
Ooh.
because, I heard Doctor Who, Doctor Who. I was like, all right, let me check this out.
Mhm.
And I watched it and I was like, well, shit, I guess I'm a Whovian now.
Yep.
And then I found out that there were 8 more. I was like, oh shit, all right, let me go back and try and watch them. I'm not gonna lie. See, season 1, like season 1, it's a little tough to
It
get
gets
through.
very slow.
So I commend you for that, and
Yeah.
I guess I'll see
Thankfully, I
you.
love old TV. Like I'm a huge like Hitchcock fan. I bought a little Hitchcock bear recently. I originally bought it for a friend for Christmas, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give you the Sonic one. I'm taking this Hitchcock for me. Um, Rod Serling is one of my favorite people ever. I'm a huge Twilight Zone fan to the point where like my next tattoo might be Twilight Zone related. Um, I I grew up watching Perry Mason and In the Heat of the Night and stuff like that. At some point, I got to meet a couple of the comedians from In Living Color, and as I was like
Nice.
gushing over that. I'm like, oh man, I grew up with you and Flip Wilson. And they're like, how the hell do you know about Flip Wilson? No one knows about Flip Wilson. And I'm like, okay, he brought Black comedians on the map. Like, I know everybody wants to talk about the other person who was a father to us and now is in prison, but I was a Flip Wilson person. So I love just old media. I think there's something just special about old media and how it's progressed to what we know now and how it's influenced so many things that we don't even realize. So I love old media. So this old Doctor Who is kind of my thing. It's my child now.
Okay, nice. Well, I will see you when you get to number 9, and
Oh
maybe
God.
I will eventually go back and power through those old episodes so I can have the knowledge.
It'll take me a while, so I'll see you in a few years.
Hey, you know what? That is like the equivalent to One Piece. So there
Oh
you go.
God, yeah.
Are you a One Piece fan or no? Is it on the
I
list?
will be one day. But when I finally sit down and watch all 1,097 episodes or however many there are, I will be one day.
It's
I'm really
okay.
bad at consuming media. I think that's my Achilles heel is like I hate all of these streaming services and how there's like 37 of them and we have to have them all and they all kind of trade the same show. So even though I know this was on Netflix 2 days ago, now it's on like HBO Max and then I have to like continue to find it and it's just too much at once and I
Hmm.
already have sensory issues. So I like stop at some point. That's why I haven't watched anime in so long. I just had to stop. It was too much at once. And then for like 2, 3 years, I just couldn't. I couldn't consume it. I couldn't watch one. I stopped watching things subbed. I'm so sorry.
Hey,
I'm back
I
to
get it.
watching subs again, but I went into dubs for a couple of years, but I was a sub purist. I'm now on dubs because it just gets easier to consume while doing things,
Hmm.
multitasking. Except for
Hey.
Hunter x Hunter, it's kind of intricate, so I can't walk away from it. Every time I try to walk away, then I look and my husband's on screen.
Hey, you know what? I get it. I totally get it. I prefer subs myself. I don't judge anybody who prefers dubs over subs.
Yeah,
I think it's a dumb debate. Like,
it
consume how you
really
want to
is.
consume. At least you know the story. That's the important
Yeah.
thing.
Exactly. And I get that like dubs take away so much of the story. I get it. I understand the argument, but sometimes you just have to go things the easy way. Like I do love my
Hmm.
subs, but sometimes I have to go in my dubs. I have to go the easy route.
Hmm.
It's like the lazy river as opposed to swimming. Like I love swimming, but let me get in this tube and just lay there for like 2 seconds.
There you go. Exactly.
Mm,
Plus, a lot of us started on dubs anyways with Toonami and Adult Swim. Like, come on.
yeah. Yeah. Nobody's gonna admit that though.
No, they won't. They're too proud.
Mhm.
Did you ever have you watched the One Piece live action?
No, because I felt bad watching the live action without watching the actual story, and I've been the person to get mad at people who like the Avatar: Last Airbender movie that none of us speak of because they've never seen the show,
Hmm.
and I feel like I'm one of those people if I do it. And the show or the movie was just awful. It was so bad.
God.
They called him Ong. It was so bad. Iro. Mm,
Mm.
yeah. Yeah.
So I went to the premiere of the opening premiere of
Same.
that movie, and I was so upset. There were
I think I
people.
saw like the midnight screening and I was disappointed in myself.
I took friends to see that, and I
Whew.
was like, I'm so sorry. This is not Avatar.
Nope. Oh well.
How do you feel about Netflix making their version now? Especially since the creators walked away.
That's my problem. I was very, very excited, and then the creators walked away. It still looks beautiful. It still had their influence for a lot of the creation, but they walked away halfway through it for creative differences. So it might turn out like another Nick thing, or it might Netflix every once in a while gets it right. Like I heard the One Piece movie was actually good. I kind of enjoyed the first 2 episodes of the Yu Yu Hakusho live action, even though they mixed a couple seasons together in the first 2 episodes. It was weird. Um, but it's not that bad. Um,
Okay.
so I at least am going to try it. And if I don't like it, then I don't like it. Let's see what they do. Every once in a
Yeah.
while, Netflix gets it right. So I'm not gonna count them all the way out. The jury is still out on the Death Note live action because
Mm,
some people say it's great, other people hate it. I was not a huge fan, but I can see both arguments on that one.
okay.
The show was still better, and then you talk about season 2 of the show, and you're like, okay, maybe. I get that Death Note is like so many people's favorites. It's actually one of my top 5. I love Death Note, but season 2 hurt me a little bit. Like the final season hurt me a little bit.
No,
And no
I get
one's
that.
gonna admit that. I'll be that person. I'll be the brave one to admit that season 2 fell off. But I do love a good short anime. That's my thing. Short anime is what I will watch. If it's 2 seasons long, gimme. If it's 13 episodes long, thank you.
I
My
get that.
attention span is fleeting.
I get that. There's like you were saying with all the streaming services. There's like an
Mhm.
endless amount to consume, and so
Mhm.
many different people are watching different things or the same
Mhm.
things, and it's like you you want to stay caught up, stay involved, stay in the loop, but it's hard. It's like a job.
Yeah. I miss the days of rushing home to get there by like 5 p.m. for whatever show I was trying to watch. I
Hmm.
miss those days. Or like on Sundays when, you invite over your family and friends to watch the newer episode of Game of Thrones or something, and you have Game
Hmm.
of Thrones drinks and everybody's in costume because you're all nerds. I miss those days of like episodic prime time. I have to actually sit down and be there for it, because with streaming it's like I can do it whenever I want, and now I have no incentive to do it.
Hmm. Yeah, I do
I
miss those.
still
Like,
am a TV person, and now we're paying like twice as much. We're paying twice over cable. I don't know if
these prices have, but they're crazy. Like
Mhm.
earlier, my girlfriend was saying that Netflix used to be $8.99 for like streaming, and now it's like 20 or more.
Mhm.
It's just like, damn.
And now you can't share your account. You gotta be in the same damn zip code or something. Ugh.
Disney Plus used to be $7.99, and now it's like
Mhm.
damn near $20. Oh my god,
Mhm.
this stuff is
We're
getting out of
paying for
hand.
cable twice over.
Basically,
Probably more than that.
especially since now they've started to release single episodes per week with their like
Mhm.
original series.
And then you have those companies that are these actual umbrella companies that own all of these streaming services
Mm,
already. So it's like, oh, you have to watch it on the CBS app. And CBS also owns this app, and this app, but you have to have all 3 of these apps in order to watch whatever you want. I'm like, but you're all a CBS company. You're all a Disney company. I don't understand why I need 4 different apps to watch a Disney show when it's all a Disney company. Why isn't it all on your Disney app when you own these stations? Money.
yeah, that's basically it. Money. And
Mhm.
actually, I think now we're getting to the point where some of them are starting to combine. Like I
Mm.
know Disney and Disney Plus and Hulu are
Hulu.
supposed to,
Yep.
excuse me, become one. I believe Netflix and Max talked about some type of merger.
Yeah, I know that's
It's yeah, we'll see.
gonna work.
But enough about corporate greed. What are your other top anime? You said that Death Note was definitely one of the top five, and this doesn't have to be in any specific order either, because I know that can be difficult for people.
Yeah, all of mine are really old, so I really love Elfen Lied or Lied, however you say it, Lied.
Ooh,
Um,
I
that
mean, dark.
was yes.
It's good. It's good. That's just
It's
dark.
good, it's dark, and it's only like 13 episodes or something crazy like that. Maybe 2 seasons. I can't remember if it was like a really short or just moderately short. So that's definitely in the top 3. Cowboy Bebop, because it was the music, the story, we're in space, all of it was fantastic. Um, so Cowboy Bebop. I want to say I loved Samurai Champloo. I really
Ooh,
did.
that's a good one.
I know I can't remember so much of it, but I'm still gonna put that in my top 3 because it's just so good. I remember it being amazing. Um, and Kodocha. I'm gonna put Kodocha in there. I it's my little kid anime. It gives me feel good vibes up until I realize what happened in that last season and how they changed it in the anime and how much sobbing you did when you realized what happened. Oh, however, there is one that nobody knows about that's such a great anime. It's called Saikano. I want to say that was the 13 episode one. And the first 2 episodes will make a grown ass thug cry multiple times, like
Okay.
biting your knees, wishing you were dead, crying. Um, and the last like 3 episodes, but it's like a war love story
Hmm.
where like the main character is a weapon and she didn't know it for most of her life. It's a whole thing. But that one I recommend Saikano to everybody because it's short. You can watch it in a day if you want to, but you are not gonna want to. That like feeling of watching Attack on Titan for the first time and what happens to somebody's mom in the first episode. If you thought that hurt then, watch the first 5 minutes of Saikano and you will hate me forever. Um, I don't know why I just love the violent ones, I guess. But yeah, those have to be my top 4, 5, 6 anime. Food
Nice.
Wars gets honorable mention, but I haven't finished it yet. So I feel weird putting it in my top when I haven't finished it. But it's in there.
I mean, you putting it in your top and you haven't finished yet. I think that says something about it
Yeah,
because
it's
it's
really
good.
great. It's,
It's
like,
good.
action-packed without, like, the fighting.
Hmm.
I don't know why. Me and fighting anime, I think that's why I haven't actually finished Hunter x Hunter. Because as good as it is, it's the difference between actual fighting and just the stakes being high.
Hmm.
Stakes. Ooh, sorry.
Damn, I can go
Yep,
for a good steak right
food.
now. Hmm.
Yep.
Yes, food.
And everyone's like, "Oh, you only like it for the fan service." No, it's the food. That's the fan service that I want. Food.
I
So
get that.
yeah, those are my anime. I enjoy anime. I love cartoons. Horror is my niche. I love
Ooh,
horror.
me too. Favorite horror movie?
Candyman.
Classic. Nice,
The
nice.
original Candyman with Tony Todd, my one of my many husbands. I love Tony Todd with all of my heart. Um, and he's also in my favorite series. I have a favorite like horror movie and a favorite horror series, Final Destination. It's
Mmm.
fantastic. Anybody can get death. Like you don't have to be one person just getting murked by Michael Myers the whole time. No, it's death. You can't see it. You can't predict it. You're going to try to cheat it. And then, congratulations, you played yourself. I, oh, it's so good. But then Candyman is just, it's all story. Like, you really don't, a lot of people watch it and expect like the gory deaths the whole time. No, you get like, you do get the gory deaths. You get like 2 or 3 gory deaths in this movie, but it's all about the story and just how it progresses. And that's why I love what Jordan Peele did to it because he kept it in that way while showcasing even more of Chicago. Ooh.
Nice. Excellent pick. I totally get that. Um, Definitely a fan of the classics myself. Nightmare on Elm Street's my favorite series.
Oh,
Part
so
3 is
good.
my favorite movie.
That's a good one.
Just Freddy is just the man. We don't talk about that remake though, because yeah,
No.
yeah.
That's like talking about Freddy versus Jason or Jason Goes to Manhattan. You just don't do it. Yeah, if they exist, we don't acknowledge that they do.
Yeah. They are the forbidden movies.
Mm-hmm. You can watch them for novelty. I have a controversial thought when it comes to watching things for novelty that everyone else hates. A
What's that?
Vampire in Brooklyn.
I
No
didn't
one
hate
likes
it.
that movie but me.
I enjoyed it. It was cool.
Thank you. See, you're my people now. Everyone that I've ever told, like I keep that one under wraps now. Everyone I've ever told hates A Vampire in Brooklyn. I'm like, I can understand why I hate it because Kadeem Hardison kind of ruined it. I understand that Renfrey was supposed to be the comedic timing the whole time, but him being like the heartthrob of the time, they gave him so many lines and it was all unnecessary and it took so much away from the story. But I'm gonna say Eddie Murphy didn't do too bad in that. It was believable, and it had my girl Angela Bassett. It was believable,
Mm-hmm.
and then they killed all of the tension with Kadeem Hardison. If he was just out of that movie, that would have been a great movie. That would have been one of the timeless like black horror films that we put up on a pedestal, like Bones and what's the other one with Keith David where it's just a bunch of stories that are really
Oh,
great but
Tales from
also
the
really
Hood.
corny. Sorry?
Tales from the Hood.
Yes. Tales from the Hood. Fantastic. So corny though. Nowadays it's corny. I
Yeah.
can see how it was great back then, but it's
I
kind of corny.
mean, the first Tales from the Hood, like you can't beat that. That was just chef's kiss. Just
Mhm.
beautiful. The second one, I see what they were going for. I see what they were trying to
Did you
do.
know they made a third in 2016?
I heard, and Tony Todd's in it, right? Did you watch it?
Unfortunately. He hurt my heart a little bit with that one.
You froze a little bit. Hello?
Oh. Is it my internet? I think you just
Hello?
froze. It might be me. No? I'm still
Hello?
getting decent speeds. Okay. So, while I'm waiting for your feed to return, I'm just gonna sing elevator music in my head.
Oh, there you are. Can
There
you hear
you
me?
are. Yes.
Okay. Sorry about that. I don't know
No,
what
that's no problem.
happened.
Internet.
Yeah. What were we saying about Tales from the Hood?
They made a third one. Tony Todd hurt my heart in that one. There's
Right.
also one, I can't remember the name of it, but it's directed by Danny Trejo. And
I
that one
remember
was
that
awesome.
one.
Mm-hmm. That wasn't like a Tales from the Hood, but it was like a knockoff of it, but
Mm-hmm.
pretty much the exact same formula. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was actually better than the third Tales from the Hood movie. I'm not gonna lie. They
Okay.
really ruined some little girl's career in that one that was on the Disney Channel too. Ooh. It
Really?
was this
Damn.
girl who was on this show called Ant Farm, with China Anne McClain. And I can't remember her name in the show. It was one of the blonde ones, but they put her in the Tales from the Hood 3. I feel so bad for what they did to this little girl. They
Damn.
ruined this girl's career. She will never work in Hollywood again because of that movie, I'm sure.
Damn, that
They
bad,
made
huh?
her kind of R-wordist. Just a tad racist, and I feel really bad because it was a bad type. Yeah. Oh man. Hmm. Hello.
Oh, sorry about that.
No, it's no
Hello.
problem. I've turned down my latency and everything else. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen again. I apologize. I don't know if it's me or not.
No, it's okay.
But
It might be my end. I don't know. Technical difficulties they happen.
sorry, I can't hear you. Hold on.
Well,
It's breaking again.
say that again.
Okay. Yeah. Are you still breaking up? Or are you here?
Oh, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes.
Okay, cool. Sorry about technical difficulties. Shit happens.
Yeah.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Well,
One day
this
we'll
Bird, I'm not gonna
officially be
keep you
like
here.
Europe and have free internet.
Yeah. And hey, I'm sure we'll hopefully meet each other at a con one day too. Be able to
I hope
talk.
so. I
Are you
tried
going
to
to any
get
cons?
tickets to
Con
I haven't been to one this year only because I have a new niece and I've been trying to keep my immune system in check for my new niece. But I tried to get tickets to BlurredCon. They just dropped tickets like 2 days ago. I tried so hard, but didn't end up getting them. So now I have to wait for the tickets to drop again. They sold out within an hour, rightfully so.
Damn.
Or not BlurredCon, DreamCon, my bad.
I was about to
But I also
say.
wanna go to BlurredCon.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanna go to both. I
No. I was
used
just
to
gonna
work at a
say.
bunch of conventions, but
Oh, cool.
mm.
That's awesome. What did you do at the conventions?
I went from being just a regular volunteer, and it was great, to, I ended up being a celebrity handler for some years with a couple of the conventions, like with a separate company. Um, but I had a great time and it kind of ended terribly. But while I was there, it was great.
Oh,
I got to meet some people that I've always wanted to meet. Like I got to meet David Duchovny and what's the guy that played Angel? Uh,
David Boreanaz.
yes, I got to meet David Boreanaz, and everyone's
Nice.
like, "Oh, he's so mean." I'm like, "No, he's not. He's just shy. Like, it's too many people around. Y'all don't
Mhm.
understand that there's like 3,000 people in his line right now." Um, I got to meet Brandon Routh is one of my favorite people that I've ever met. I understand that he was in one of the least favorite Superman movies, but you know what? He looks exactly like Christopher Reeves, so I can excuse that Superman movie because it's not his fault. It was the writing. Um,
Mhm.
he did a fantastic job. Um, so I loved working for conventions when I was there. But I stepped away from it for some years because of how it ended. And actually, last year was my first year going to cons again. I went to RTX Con and I went to DreamCon, and it was fantastic. It was such. Oh, and I went to TwitchCon last year too. Dreams,
Nice.
I loved them. So hopefully, I get to go back this upcoming year as soon as tickets drop again.
Nice. That's awesome. Well, I hope you can stick it to BlurredCon, so I can see you there.
Definitely.
Nice. Well, Miss Birdie, I'm not going to keep you here too much longer, but there is a question I, of course, have to ask you.
Okay.
Oh, are you still here?
I am. Is it breaking up again? We're breaking up a little bit.
Hello?
Let me see if I can do anything. Um,
Oh,
hmm.
I hear you now.
Okay. Let me see if like closing some stuff would work. I don't have like any apps up for this reason. Okay. How's it now? Turn the Wi-Fi off on my
I can
phone.
hear you. And
That's
you're
an app
moving too.
again. Hello.
Hello.
Okay.
Can you
There
hear
we
me?
go.
Okay.
I can hear you.
All right. Awesome. Cool. There is a very important question I gotta ask you. If there was a character that you could get high with, who would it be and why? And remember, you're not entitled to, or you're not restricted to any specific genre or anything. The entire multiverse is open. Anime, cartoon, real life,
See,
a book.
it's been I did research on this one. I had to think a lot about this one because there's too many. But
Mhm.
I narrowed it down to two people, one cartoon and one real life. So the first cartoon
Okay.
is Cyborg from Teen Titans. I think from the series itself, although
Okay.
Teen Titans Go Cyborg is fantastic too. I know that
Mhm.
a lot of people don't like Teen Titans Go, but you can't be a true fan of the show if you don't realize that a majority of the jokes in Teen Titans Go were recycled jokes from the original Teen Titans series. So if anyone ever goes back, and then a lot of people don't realize that the theme song changed of Teen Titans, like it was either Japanese or American, depending on the subject matter. If it was a more serious episode, I think the theme song was in Japanese. But Cyborg on the Teen Titans
Oh.
series and on Teen Titans Go was always making references to the old things that we should keep with. Like he talked about VCRs and tapes and Betamaxes. He talked about the importance of remembering the Pointer Sisters. He talked about Sly and the Family Stone. Like there are so many things that I'm hoping that Carrie Payton had a hand in just the Black references that Cyborg brought out. He was such a fantastically written character because amongst that entire group, he still kept that essence of Black history, like, important and on the forefront of who he was, and I just very much appreciated that, and he was goofy as hell. I love goofy characters. So Cyborg from Teen Titans, definitely, and if I'm going for real people, Jordan Peele. I had to think on that one a lot. It's Jordan Peele.
Solid.
As much as I would love to
Very
meet my
solid.
future husband, Trevor Noah, it's gotta be Jordan Peele because anyone who loves, Rod Serling and horror as much as he does, and I would want to do Dave Chappelle, but I know Dave Chappelle would be too serious, and we equally hate the world and don't wanna be involved in it. So I feel like me and Dave Chappelle would just end up making each other cry, and I don't want to I can't meet that specific hero of mine because we have the same brain wavelength sometimes. So I'm gonna go for
Mhm.
Jordan Peele because he has that funny aspect. He has that sketch comedy that he admired from Dave Chappelle and took and created his own thing. But he also married Chelsea Peretti, created a whole empire with Monkey Paw Productions, made fantastic media such as Get Out and Us, etc. Jordan Peele is such a freaking cool person, and he just walked on stage with Kojima like, "Oh yeah, we made a video game, and I'm just in a hoodie right now at the game store presenting this game that's gonna be groundbreaking for all of you." So it's gonna be Jordan Peele.
Nice. Those are very, very solid picks. Incredible. Bravo. Bravo.
It took me a minute to think of those. That's why I asked you the other day. I'm like, I know he's gonna ask that question. I know he's gonna ask it. Let me think about this.
Well, Birdie, I appreciate you being on here with me, talking to me, and yeah, just sharing yourself with the world. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course. Um, of course, there anything you'd like to plug for the people, definitely let them know where they can find you. Anything you're getting up to that they should be on the lookout for.
But Well, I am Dirty Nerdy Birdie across most of my social media, exactly how it sounds and spells, Dirty Nerdy Birdie. Although on TikTok, I have 2 Y's at the end, so BIRDYY. And I guess somebody just wanted to steal my name. It's fine. I'm cool. I get it. You want to be me. So keep that name. I'll keep 2 Y's and just continue to ask you why you stole my name. But yes, Dirty Nerdy Birdie on Instagram, on Twitch, on YouTube. And I will be getting more into TikTok and other evil social media very soon.
Nice. Awesome. Well, thank you for being here again. I appreciate you, and yeah, I look forward to talking again in the future. Hopefully, IRL
Same.
sometime soon.
Definitely.
Nice.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Bye.